Well, my friends, the Google news just keeps coming as we have a brand new beta to play around with, Android 16 QPR3 Beta 1. This is going to give us a legitimate sneak peek into what we can expect for the major update arriving in March of 2026, meaning the stable version is still quite a few months away. Interestingly enough, there's actually a decent bit to play around with here, and there are some bigger changes that I personally never expected out of Google, in a good way, don't get me wrong, that all come together to make this a fun little holiday update. I have to mention, this update did come out around 8 p.m. on a Wednesday, and right now it's around 10 p.m. Eastern time, so I'm already exhausted before we even start filming this. So the video is a bit shorter than usual, that's why. It's late, I'm tired, but also still excited for some of these new changes, so let's get right on into it. I'm actually going to start off with the biggest, most mind-boggling change of this entire beta. Probably the wildest change we've seen from Pixel devices since the very beginning. You can finally actually remove the ever so present at-a-glance widget. I know, it's an absolutely huge feature and everyone's gonna buy a Pixel now and it's super game-changing, but all jokes aside, this has been a feature request that the Android community has been asking for since the original Pixel. To me, it's not really that deep, it's just a simple desire to want to customize your home screen as you see fit, and there's nothing really more to it than that. I love at-a-glance, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I want to put my own clock faces on my own home screen. So if you updated and you want to make this change, all you have to do is long press on the at-a-glance widget to get to the settings, then you're going to find a new show on home screen toggle right below the use at-a-glance option. Once toggled, you'll see that in a weird way, the at-a-glance widget is completely gone, and that's free space that you can use to put other apps or widgets in that place. Also, if you keep the at-a-glance portion enabled, but the show on home screen toggle off, it will continue to show it on your lock screen, but not on your home screen, which is awesome. This is something I really want to spend the next 10 minutes talking about, but unfortunately, we don't have that kind of time tonight. All I gotta say is, wow, this is something that we needed literally 10 years ago, and I'm happy it's finally implemented. Another huge change, since we're on the topic of huge changes, is a revised quick setting toggle for the flashlight that will allow you to adjust the brightness on a more granular level, just like we saw with iOS, and I am not complaining. If you have the 2x1 quick settings tile active, simply tapping on the circle will just turn the flashlight on and off as usual. However, hitting the space to the right of that will enable the light and also bring up a new flashlight strength panel. With this, you can tap or drag the handle to control the brightness, and bringing it all the way down will turn the flash completely off. To me, this is definitely a good addition. Yes, don't get me wrong, it did come to iOS first, but it's still a good idea that shouldn't be gate kept just because we saw it on a competitor first, and I am totally here for it. Next up, we have what I think is strange, not right or wrong necessarily, just strange. Pixel UI now adds Samsung's navigation button layout within the settings. You can find it right under the navigation settings under the 3-button navigation option, where you get 2 options: Pixel style or Samsung. Maybe there can be more customization for this in the future. I will say, I'm not sure why Google finally added it now, but I do 100% appreciate it for the sake of those that are way more comfortable with the Samsung layout anyways. Other than that, my friends, we have a few minor changes from here on out. One I actually really like is a slick new animation for opening folders. Nothing crazy, but the whole home screen has a small zoom in effect and it looks great. At a glance for the lock screen has a very minor tweak where the date and weather are flipped. It seems kind of pointless, but maybe they have some sort of data that I don't at this time. You now have a blue notification chip and a small dot that shows when apps are actively using your location, which is great for the sake of transparency. The themed icons were renamed from themed icons to minimal. Again, a negligible change if you ask me. And finally, the edit tiles page in the notification shade has had its alignment tweaked a bit to kind of space everything out a bit more. And that, my friends, covers all the new user-facing changes. There's probably a handful more somewhere in this update, so please keep an eye on the 9to5 Google website where we have an ongoing list of every single change, and trust me, it's great to check out if something does happen to slip through the cracks. Interestingly enough, though, I did want to point out that a lot of these changes were first seen in Android Canary, which is the bleeding-edge developer channel for Android now. It seems like we're seeing the beginning of a new sort of system playing out at this time. We now have a build with new features that are available available to play around with even before they come to the beta channel. It will get a steady stream of updates for ongoing testing, and then can be quickly pushed to the beta channel when ready, and then of course sent over to stable, which is something we already knew, but it is kind of nice to see it finally in action. Honestly, Google Chrome has the same situation here with a canary build, beta build, and a stable channel, so it's definitely worth keeping an eye out on Canary from here on out, because that's where the newest user-facing changes are going to go, which does kind of mark the end of traditional Android updates as we know it. It's clear Google is refining their process a bit, which I firmly believe is allowing us to see more features faster, and I am excited to see where things go from here. That said, my friends, I am absolutely exhausted, so I'm going to get out of here, finish editing this video, and then go get some rest. But I am going to bring it over to you guys now. What do you think of this unexpected holiday update? Are you finally happy that we can remove the at-a-glance widget, or is this a feature you never really cared about in the first place? Please let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. Until next time, this has been Jordan Floyd with 9to5 Google. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.